You will never see the sun again.
Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're taking a look at the biggest, most contentious controversies to come out of the Xbox brand.
Follow it or don't follow it. I don't care.
Before we begin, we publish new videos all week long, so be sure to subscribe to MojoPlays and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Redfall and Studio Mismanagement. The early 2020s were rough for Xbox in terms of releases. The Xbox Series XS went so long without any new games, and Halo Infinite was a disappointing drop in the bucket, whereas Forza Horizon 5 was a wonderful kickstart for that player base. But 2023 saw a massive bump in the road for Xbox when Redfall dropped. The AI was just too unbelievably stupid to properly detect players, and it wasn't uncommon for environments to not load in properly. Turns out, Xbox had been handling Arcane Austin and other studios with a completely off-hands direction. What's worse is that even some staff at Arcane Austin had hoped Xbox would cancel the game after Microsoft bought Bethesda during the game's development. It was such a critical and commercial disappointment that Redfall's PlayStation 5 version was effectively canceled, and in 2024, Microsoft shut down Arcane Austin as a means to, quote, realign plans and resources, end quote, so that Xbox can, quote, identify the opportunities that are best positioned for success, end quote, as president of Xbox Sarah Bond put it. But that wasn't the only studio that was forced to shut its doors. Closing Tango Gameworks. Yes, Tango Gameworks was another victim in Microsoft's change of plans, and it is the most bewildering choice to put on the chopping block. While their products never made blockbuster sales, Tango Gameworks had the chance to be the media molecule to Xbox's PlayStation, having won awards for The Evil Within 2 and more recently Hi-Fi Rush. Hi-Fi Rush in particular showed promise in the future of Xbox as folks gravitated towards the unique approach to rhythm-based mechanics. Even Ghostwire Tokyo saw a modest fan base and could have had a promising future with an improved sequel. But what angered Xbox fans more about Tango's closure was how other Xbox studios that have been botching games for years, such as 343 Industries and its handling of Halo, get off scot-free. But sure, let's shutter the studio that won some pretty prominent awards for their work. It all feels eerily familiar to another closure we saw during the Xbox One days. Closing Lionhead Studios.
I'm afraid this path is private. It'll cost you to get through. Or we can always use your head as an ornament. Either way suits us.
We'll be the first to admit that Lionhead and the studio's Fable games weren't for everybody, but once upon a time, these fantasy RPGs were a central part of Xbox's identity. In a market where many RPGs made you the chosen one and sent you on an epic quest, Fable gave you the same story, but focused more on humor and trying to make your good and evil choices actually matter. Unfortunately, Xbox was trying to aggressively push for the Kinect to be the next big thing during the late 2000s and early 2010s, and part of their plan was to have Lionhead focus on nothing but Kinect games.
Look, I have no time to explain. You can read my journal if you want. I don't want it anymore.
Years were wasted as Fable the Journey failed to capture an audience, Project Milo was demoed only to never be seen again, and other projects kept getting scrapped. Just when it seemed like Lionhead could bounce back with the online multiplayer spin-off Fable Legends, Xbox pulled the plug on the game and the studio in 2016. The worst part of it all was that not everybody at Lionhead was even aware of the closure being a possibility until the day it was announced.
It's essentially trolling.
Trying to double the price of Xbox Gold.
survive a strange planet filled with danger and mystery in Planet Alpha. Marooned and alone, venture across the beautiful foreign land and unlock its many hidden secrets.
Perhaps this was an early sign showing that not all is well for the Xbox Series XS generation. In January 2021, Xbox announced that it was going to double the price of Xbox Gold. 3 months would cost $30, 6 months would cost $60, and a full year would run $120.
With 5 new parks and 100 new missions, you'll need an all-day pass to enjoy all the fun.
This was met with an overwhelming amount of backlash as customers pointed out just how worthless Xbox Gold was becoming. Xbox would not only backpedal on this, but the company would try to make amends by eliminating the need for Xbox Gold across all free-to-play games. Xbox Gold was eventually shut down altogether in September 2023 and replaced with a new tier for Game Pass known as Xbox Game Pass Core, launching the new tier at the same price as Xbox Gold. So, not much really changed.
Spending one night in Grow Hill Mansion means you might never see the day of light again.
The constant PR hypocrisy. Over the years, Xbox heads such as Phil Spencer have made some statements to media outlets and pundits that would later contradict the company's actions. One prime example is how Spencer stated how much he despises exclusivity, yet Xbox continued to operate in this mindset with releases like Starfield while trying to buy up big studios to shove under the Xbox brand.
It sounds like you're interested in hearing more.
Then there are the times where Spencer and Xbox executives have expressed their desire for smaller games and potentially award-winning games, yet choose to shut down a studio like Tango Gameworks, a studio that did specialize in smaller games, and won awards. And then you have some Xbox ambassadors, air quotes, spreading false information that Xbox's troubles are the same troubles many other massive game companies are going through. Well, one look at the sales data for PlayStation 5 and Switch would tell you different, but okay.
This may impact your ability to live a fruitful and carefree life.
The acquisition campaigns.
Why wouldn't you use your resources, your legal resources, and all the rest to just make it hard? Microsoft would and has done the same thing to other companies.
Ever since Microsoft acquired Bethesda in January 2021, there were some weird conversations unfolding about which companies Microsoft should supposedly go and buy to bolster the Xbox brand. One of the very few to speak out against this notion was Last Stand Media founder and Sacred Symbols host Colin Moriarty. Moriarty was the most prominent voice as he pointed out the dangers of consolidating the video game market and how managing so many studios would only increase development costs, thus leading to studio closures.
The CEO of Vandelay Technology, Cale Vandelay!
Here we are in 2024, and we've lost Tango Gameworks, Arcane Austin, Alpha Dog Games, and Roundhouse Studios in one fell swoop as a result of low sales across Xbox hardware and games. Toys for Bob, once owned by Activision Blizzard before they were acquired in 2023, was possibly on the chopping block as well before they made the move to go independent. It's almost like we could have seen this coming.
Vandelay has always been about helping those in need. And you all in Project Armstrong are about to show the world just how special you can become.
The move to third party. In January 2024, the Xbox fanbase was set ablaze. Multiple inside sources came forward about Xbox's plans to take their exclusives and launch them on other platforms. Whereas many were eager to play Xbox games on their PS5 or Switch, others were enraged. Social media was quickly flooded with images and videos of players trading in their consoles and buying PS5s or Switches instead. Sure enough, this move proved true as Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond, and head of Xbox Game Studios Matt Booty held an interview about the move, announcing that Pentiment, Grounded, Hi-Fi Rush, and Sea of Thieves would be the first 4 games to go multi-platform. Sea of Thieves wound up being among the top 3 best-selling games on PlayStation for April 2023. The game launched April 30th. You know they're gonna keep at it, guys. The Red Ring of Death.
We need to get our yields up, and so we're cranking up production.
At the highest manufacturing output, I remember hearing numbers like a console would come off the line every 4 seconds.
This was perhaps the first time Microsoft and Xbox found themselves in hot water with players. Even though the Xbox 360 was impressive in visual fidelity and UI when it first launched, it wasn't until folks began experiencing the Red Ring of Death.
But we had no sense of how big of an issue it was. We didn't even know how to deal with it.
This was a result of the console overheating and or not having the proper ventilation, and this would cause Xbox 360s to suddenly stop working altogether. Microsoft soon had to compensate users by either issuing refunds or providing brand new Xbox 360s as replacements. To this day, many have not forgotten this troublesome era.
Kudos to Microsoft for stepping up and putting their money where the Red Ring of Death was.
Everything to do with Xbox Game Pass.
What is like the most critically acclaimed Game Pass game ever?
Hi-Fi Rush.
For the everyday person, Game Pass is a huge steal of a deal. A monthly fee to play some of the newest games from both Xbox and its AAA and indie partners? You're getting a lot of value for a modest price. Alas, this has come at a massive cost for the games industry. Some pundits, such as the aforementioned Colin Moriarty, have long pointed out how Game Pass rarely translates to sales, and you can see that in Xbox's messaging sometimes.
Profession, rockstar.
Future rockstar. One shining example of this was Hi-Fi Rush, which never had its sales revealed by Microsoft. However, Xbox was vocal about how many players checked out the game, calling it a smash hit, but never clarified how many of those players were Game Pass users and how many players were people who actually bought the game.
Tell that grandstander Zonzo in R&D.
We need people with influence, and you're giving me losers.
Other executives, such as Take-Two Interactive CEO Strauss Zelnick and former Activision Blizzard King CEO Bobby Kotick, have also expressed their views on how putting their games on services like Game Pass could ultimately damage their revenue if they put GTA or Call of Duty on the platform. This, combined with the growing lack of support from developers in making games for Xbox, has caused many to begin second-guessing the true value behind Game Pass. And lastly, the Xbox One reveal.
To continue to lead, we must provide compelling answers to new questions. Can we take what you love and make it better?
After dominating with the Xbox 360 during the 7th generation of consoles, no one had expected such a massive embarrassment, one so colossal and devastating as the Xbox One reveal. If you have any clue about this event, you've probably already seen the exemplary cut of the showcase made by YouTube user DarkBeat. For roughly an hour, viewers saw then Microsoft Senior Vice President Don Matrick and his cohorts present the Xbox One as not a gaming console, but an entertainment center.
Xbox, game. Go to TV. Go to music. Watch TV.
Kinect integration, voice commands, the ability to watch TV and sports while gaming. Oh, the sports. It was everything that we didn't want and didn't care to know about the console. The big question was, what are the games?
Later this year.
What made it worse was how Microsoft planned to focus on cloud streaming gaming and sought to allow game discs to only be usable once, thus eliminating the ability to share physical copies of games with others. This opened the door for Sony to put out a video on how to properly share games for PlayStation 4. What no one knew at the time was that this would be the start of 2 long and painful generations for Xbox, and they have not recovered since.
I'm proud to announce that Microsoft Studios plans to release more than 15 exclusive games in the first year of Xbox One, 8 of which are brand new franchises.
Which Xbox controversy rubbed you the wrong way? Let us know down in the comments in a civil manner, please. Let's not get all console war in the comments. And be sure to subscribe to MojoPlays for more great videos every day.
I told you, we're on the same side. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, there's more where that came from.